you heard the story a couple of times before. I can't see her anymore. And the light you think was impossible to lose, oh baby, the light, it ain't shining no more.
I am really glad to say that we have a really special guest on FixFM, a songwriter and a singer, Josefin Winther. So hello Josefin, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Do you like listening to the radios?
Radios?
Oh yeah.
Not really. I usually, if I listen to anything, I listen to music. So I don't spend much time listening to radio because then I can't choose what I'm listening to. So.
Yeah, it's like that. But you know, for some people, it is a problem to update their playlist. Does it ever happen to you? Do you have this problem or not?
Actually, I do. It's a very common problem in my life. But sometimes I just get my shit together and I ask someone, what should I listen to? Tell me something new. Tell me something that I should, discover. And then I do that and erase my old playlists. But it is a problem, yes.
So what other artists would you compare yourself to in terms of music and your voice?
I always think that's one of the most difficult questions I get because well, I don't usually compare myself to anyone. Not that I think that I'm extremely special. I just can't think of anyone. But people usually name drop artists like PJ Harvey and Patti Smith, and yeah. I personally really love Jeff Buckley. He's a great songwriter, singer as well. So, yeah, and Ryan Adams, not Brian.
Yeah. And people say that your voice is similar to Ellie Goulding. What do you think about that?
That's a great compliment. I've never heard that before, but I can see why they would say that in some sense. But yeah.
Do you like her music?
I don't listen to it, but I appreciate her role in the music history.
Yeah, sure. And you started writing your own lyrics and playing guitar being in age 13, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So did you have other activities like, football or something like that?
Yeah, up until then I was a basketball freak. So at some point in my teenage years I had to choose between sports and music, and I chose music.
So tell me, what was it like focusing on your music when you were growing up? People at that age usually have fun outside all day long. Was it difficult to ignore that and concentrate on music?
Well, back then when I was a teenager, it was always like new emotions, always a new crush on someone, always a heartache or something. So then I really had, the need to express myself, and I didn't feel that I was missing out on something else. I just had to write lyrics about how I felt. But being a grown-up and a professional artist, it takes discipline to sit down and actually work with your lyrics when you could have been outside or at a bar or something. But so it's more of a challenge nowadays than it was when I was 14. Yeah.
Right. And does the size of your audience at concerts matter to you? Does it make difference if it is 1,000, 100, or even 50 people? Is it really important to you to have the best gig ever?
What usually makes a gig special for me is not the size of the audience, not that it's 1,000 or more. It's usually when I get that. When something happens between me and the audience, that we become like one unit or something. It's like that doesn't always happen when you have like a perfect show in a great place with a lot of people. Sometimes that just stays very impersonal. But you can come to some shitty hole in London and all of a sudden something happens between us and we kind of unite in a way, and that's the best feeling for me. It's really magical.
And do you remember any crazy stuff happening during your shows?
Crazy things that happen?
Yes, sometimes it's happening good things that you really remember, but sometimes it's so weird things that you think, like, what the hell?
Well, I can't think of anything like crazy, or I only have like good memories. I've had like once in Berlin, I'd driven all the way from Norway, which is pretty far, to Berlin, with my band, and we were really excited about the gig, and then it turned out to be like the background music in the smoking area of the club. that was what we had driven like 1,500 kilometers to do.
But it's like disappointing. I mean, if you're driving so far away, you really expect a quality and good things. It's like disappointing.
Definitely very disappointing. So that was a crazy experience, but not in a good way at all.
Yeah, and people say that artists are a little bit crazy. And do you think you are crazy?
No. I remember when I was younger, I was signed to a record label with other artists, and I remember the record label manager, he always told me that, I wish the other artists were like you, because you're not crazy, and they are. And I always felt a bit sad about that, because I think it sounded, you tend to romanticize the way that artists, they're crazy, they're drunk all the time, they don't sleep at night, but I prefer to sleep at night and stay awake in the daytime and, not be drunk all the time. So I'm not a crazy person in that sense, and I'm glad I'm not, but I am a very, very, very emotional person, and that...
Yes, but you really show your emotions on the stage. When you sing, it seems like you mean every single word, and that is really, really nice, and you put all your energy into your performances, and that's what makes your gig so special. And Josefin, you know that lots of artists, they use drugs or alcohol to get inspiration and create good lyrics. And I think that for some of them, it is the only way they can find their creativity. So can you tell me what inspires your lyrics for the songs? How you create your lyrics?
No, I usually stuff like sentences or thoughts or emotions come to me like whenever. They could come right now. And then I usually just write it down, the idea, or I record it on my phone, just, with the iPhone application. And then, the ideas, they come whenever. They can come in the middle of the night, and then my job is to, take care of them and remember them, because I don't know where they are coming from. And I don't use any drugs or drink excessive amounts of alcohol. So, to me, it seems like it's just some kind of, opening to something else, and I don't know what that is, but I'm just trying to receive whatever comes to me, take care of it, and then I sit down when I take the time, and I'm disciplined, and I work with it. And that's proper work. I have to sit down and concentrate and be disciplined, but the idea or the original emotion comes from somewhere, I don't know where is.
Have you ever thought about something like X Factor? It's really easy way to get popular. What do you think?
Well, yes, but it is an easy way to get popular. But
it's not that's really easy afterwards. I mean, of course, really popular artists. It's really it's quite difficult, because if you sign to a record label, you need to do what they want.
My main goal isn't to get famous, so for me it's I'm very comfortable with just working every day with my music, playing small places I'm gonna play tonight, for example, and just working constantly. And if you have if you're busy trying to get famous, people will see right through you. People want the real thing. They don't want to see someone who's forcing their way on someone. And if you participate in a show like X Factor, you could do that, but then you need to have whatever you're promoting. You need to promote something. You can't just be a face. So you could do that, but then you need the good songs. You need the experience on the stage, and you need to be something that they can actually be interested in. You can't just
And I hear that you have tattooed the name of your album on your forearm. Is that correct?
Yeah, on my left forearm, yeah.
So does this song, Be Proud to See Out of It, mean something to you?
It started out as a song to a friend of mine, which I loved really much and still do. And we used to have some disagreements or arguments, and I wrote this song to this friend, and then it became the title track of the album, and it meant a lot to me. And then I wanted to tattoo something on myself, and I thought of what means something to me, and I was very proud of having released that album. I was proud of that song, and I was also proud of the content in the song and the sentence. And it's a good rule to try to live by, though it's impossible, be proud or stay out of it. But I'm just trying my best every day, and I look down at my arm and I try to remember that if you're doing something that you can't be proud of, just don't do it. Try and do something else instead. So yeah, it means a lot to me. Yeah.
And did your music change over the years after your first debut album?
Well, I at least think that I've developed a lot as a songwriter, but it has also changed the way that it's being played. I used to play with a band like all the time. I had 3 boys with me, drums, guitar and bass, and it was very much power, pop rock. And the last few years I've been playing more and more by myself, and I'm starting to enjoy that a lot. I didn't before. In the beginning I missed having someone on stage with me that I could communicate with, and you know. But now I'm really starting to enjoy it, and I also noticed that the audience often feel the things that I sing stronger if I'm alone than when I'm with a band. So, but I'm experimenting, and I'm still playing with my band on some gigs, and then I play some alone.
Yeah, so it's really been a pleasure to speak to you, Josefin. I really love your music, and I'm sure that the listeners will enjoy that. And hopefully we'll hear you on FixFM again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Radio stotis FixFM www.fixfm.lt